welcome to my pick a card channel, the Tarot Cottage. I'm so happy that you're here today. Today's reading is a little bit of a personal reading and maybe a little bit of a raw reading because we're diving into energy after an ending for you. Whether you've walked away from someone or a relationship has ended, or maybe you've just outgrown something, but this is Spirit's message for the version of you that's standing in the quiet after everything has changed or everything is in the process of changing. So maybe a part of you is still wondering why it happened or what it meant. Maybe you're finally feeling the weight lifted, or you're just still in that sacred in-between space where you're not sure when the weight is going to lift for you. Wherever you are, this reading here is meant to meet you exactly there, no matter where you're sitting. So we'll look at what Spirit wants you to know, and we're going to look at what Spirit says you are being protected from and what soul lessons you have integrated at this time with this connection and what's ready to flow in now that you've released. So take a deep breath and choose whichever pile calls to your heart space. We do have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1 with the day and night card. Pile number 2 with the perfect key. And pile number 3 with the Rose Garden. And this is coming from the Oracle of Mystical Moments Oracle, if you're interested, of course. My timestamps are always listed below, and I'm going to jump into pile number 1. Again, today we're talking all about after an ending, what Spirit needs you to know at this time, what you perhaps are ready to hear. Pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3. I'm going to jump into pile number 1. Hi, pile 1. You were drawn to night and day, and this is your reading. After an ending in your life, what does Spirit want you to know or needs you to know at this time? Now, the day and night card speaks to like major change. It's sort of like this fresh perspective, this fresh beginning. And maybe you really struggled to take a leap of faith. Maybe you were really worried about everyone else's opinion about choosing yourself or making a bold choice in the relationship ending in general. They're saying that you perhaps spent too long navigating that fear before you took the bold leap. And for some, perhaps this bold leap hasn't even happened yet. And you're being asked to take your mask off and really reflect upon your needs as opposed to worrying about being seen or being perceived by other people in your life as well. This is also a beautiful card of what's to come and perhaps a perception of like what you're expecting to experience in the new versus what you're actually going to experience as well. So this beautiful cards. Let's start your reading. For pile number 1, please. After this ending, what does Spirit want you to know? We have the Death energy. That's such a powerful place to start your reading, pile 1. Ace of Pentacles, and we have the 5 of Cups. The Hierophant. So this could be a marriage that you have actually decided to walk away from, a long-standing commitment. And it's not without grief. And I feel like we have to expect that to happen. Spirit says that when endings come in, it's like our souls will accept it if we're really angry. It's like if we're really, really mad or really, really angry and have a really, really good excuse to make change, then we give ourselves permission to do so. It's important to express the loss because what we are moving away from, we have still gained from perhaps. So it's important for us to acknowledge that we feel the pain and that there's an opportunity for us to grow within that pain as well. They're saying that in this environment, you didn't feel supported. Maybe you didn't feel emotionally supported. But there are a lot of practical reasons why you stayed. And a part of it is just dependency. You know, there could have even been a practical dependency associated with this change. But there is an acknowledgement here. Spirit really wants to make sure that you understand that if you are like worried about the aftermath, if you're worried about, again, making a choice that feels out of character for yourself, because they keep highlighting you like stepping outside of this character that you've played. And the truth is that it's not a character at all. You're unmasking yourself for the character you've always been in the elements of this relationship. And you've made all of the observations you needed to make. So maybe you have guilt surrounding wanting to move forward. And this is where Spirit's trying to eradicate some of that guilt. because there's a purpose and a reason and a season for everything. And this held its purpose for you, but that purpose may have come to a close now. And one of the lessons that you're integrating in this moment is choosing yourself, giving yourself the permission to make the observation, and then to perhaps allow it to process, allow it to give it its time. Here's the Strength. And I feel like you're also worried about like everything that you do for other people and everything that you have done for even your past partner, for instance. And it's like you're worried that they're not capable of doing for themselves, or you're worried that your upgrade means a downgrade for them. And I feel like there's sadness associated with that too. It's like you feel like you need a good excuse because maybe this isn't a bad person. Maybe they're not even a terrible partner. They're just not perhaps in alignment with how you've grown, because you've changed a lot from the time you were young to the time you are today. And with that evolution has come new perceptions and new beliefs. Here's the Knight of Pentacles. Here's the Nine of Pentacles. And it really feels like you're at this stage in life where you're ready to re-educate yourself. It's like you're ready to put your effort and your energy into yourself, into independence. And I feel like you might have started like with small changes within the dynamics of your relationship. Maybe it started with the body. Maybe you started to reform that. Maybe you started to eat better. Maybe you started taking care of yourself. Adjustments were made before you ended this connection. And with those adjustments came further and more adjustments. It was like a domino effect of change. Once certain things started to change, it's like once you gave yourself permission to make practical, minute changes, all of a sudden the possibilities of other emotional changes started to come up for you. We have the Seven of Cups and the Hierophant. And you've experienced this realm. Spirit wants you to understand that they know that you've experienced this realm, but that maybe you want to experience something bigger or something different. But you also feel like your desire for shifts and changes are bringing another person, maybe unwillingly, and they're emotionally confused as to why you want these shifts and changes, even though you maybe have been quietly speaking about this and hoping for this and talking about this, you know, in small ways throughout the years. So it feels like you're worried that another person felt blindsided by this. Knight of Wands. Because there's a reference to like feeling like I'm being selfish because I'm imploding something that I built for a long, long time. And there's this period of adjustment that could be testing your strength. So you may be telling yourself that you were wrong. You may be telling yourself that you should go back. But going back, this is where Spirit wants to start this process of the message about telling you what you're integrating in your soul with your lessons right now. Because the Page of Swords is the student. And you're in the adjustment period, so you're learning how to adjust. You're feeling uncomfortable with your decision because you're out of the comfort zone that you created for yourself, which means that everything's right on track. It's uncomfortable because it's working. And they want you to give yourself time. Because on the other side of this, again, they're saying that maybe this is an environment where the same arguments or the same issues come up over and over and over again, and we don't see change. And so we can't force change on another person, and maybe we've been asking for it, but we can create change for ourselves, and we started that process. And that domino effect has now taken us to major upheaval and major change, perhaps divorces as well. Children could be a factor in this, although it's not a major theme here. Because that's the other process too. When we're starting to move behind and move away from an ending, we consider everyone else except for ourselves. And this is where Spirit says, maybe it's time for what you would call a selfish phase, but what they call is an integration phase. You have the Lovers. On the other side is the Four of Wands, and there is the Ten of Swords, and here's the Ace of Cups. And again, you're in the in-between of adjustment period, so maybe you have some of buyer's remorse, but this period of time of frustration, of fear, of lack of strength will clear as well. And they're also highlighting that other people, the person that you're leaving behind, the connection that you're leaving behind, they're stronger than you give them credit for. And this opens up the possibility for them to feel more deeply connected to their connections as well in the future. And on the other side of these triggers, we do have the ability to move into a parallel state. And yes, right now we could both be sitting here in a state of despair. But there's also the gray sky in this vintage tarot as opposed to the yellow. And this card deck does have yellow. You can see it all through the deck. So they could have integrated the yellow sky into this deck as well, but they chose not to. And I always highlight the Hermit with the gray because we have to see things as they are. That's part of the soul lesson for two people in this connection, is to ground ourselves to the reality of what is so that we can go from there. And we can take steps from there. And on the other side of it is a reaffirmation from your heart, is the lessons that you were supposed to integrate from this connection from the get-go, because that was actually the purpose and the function of this, was to collaborate together to learn how to overcome obstacles. One of the biggest obstacles is knowing when to say, we've come to the end of our story, or we've come to redefine the story in the very least. And on the other side of this, what is waiting for you is your thirst being quenched. I feel like you're going to travel. I feel like you're going to there's going to be adjustments and abundance in your finances. There's independence for you. And on the other side of that could be new emotional love waiting for you as well. But the most important thing is the peace that comes in. And I just heard, when you go to church and you're offered if you're a Catholic, you'll understand, you go to church and you get the communion. And in church, they say, peace be with you. And afterwards, they say, peace be with you as well. Like there's peace be with you, peace be with you. And so there's going to be peace for both people on the other side of the upheaval. And what you find about your perception about what could happen versus what will happen will be like a day and night perspective. We have here Wisdom Spirit, the Owl. I feel like you thought that this type of movement or change was like wishful thinking, like you were not capable of it. But we have joy now and reconnecting with your magic. And if you're in a state of buyer's remorse, if you're feeling emotionally confused, Spirit wants you to straighten your crown and remember who you are. Because you're reconnecting with your own magic. You're reconnecting with your own strength in this moment. And they're saying that things are actually going to turn around for you. The hummingbird in joy says when we focus on abundance and we focus on our own joy, we bridge that gap very quickly. So this turnaround for you between lessons and strength is going to happen very quickly. This turnaround between the 10 of Swords and the Ace of Cups is going to turn around very quickly. And then you'll have a new perception. And everybody will as well. We have a distant kiss and a prayer flag. I wish of all wishes that you were here. Through sunlight and rain, I need you near. And a note on love. Seek different seasons and enter into the unknown. When love is the focus, foundation, and goal, blessed is the body, mind, and soul. And that's where they're also saying we don't have to be angry and screaming at each other. We can appreciate what we've built and still give ourselves the grace. Even if the other person can't see it in that moment, give ourselves the grace to move forward anyway. Now, I'd like to take a quick look into what is waiting for you in the future as well as a part of this new integration. What's waiting for you on the other side of this ending, Spirit. For pile number 1. What is ready to flow in after the release? The Sun. The Fool. Freedom, freedom of choice, freedom to be vulnerable, freedom to plant myself wherever I want, clarity over what I've just experienced. 5 of Wands. But there is this competition in the process of achieving that clarity. There's a determination here that grows within you. There's an empowerment that grows within you. You all of a sudden feel like you can manifest whatever you want. And again, highlighting on children for someone as well. There's the Fool, freedom, Knight of Cups. So it's like you have perhaps, again, children on your mind for someone watching. This may not resonate with everyone, but you may have like your own children and the concerns for them too. But Spirit sees you being the common thread. You are the security. And as long as they have that one sense of security, at least one, they may even have multiple. But as long as they have you, they're going to be okay. What they need to see from a parent is a happy parent. And they need to see somebody who's having fun in life. They say that you're going to actually even have a little bit more freedom as well, and you're going to be able to go out. And they say that you may even meet someone that's going to be completely in alignment with your energy in the future as well. You may build after a period of independence with another person. This other person may also have children or could have children if you don't as well. But you find a balance. They say that right after the release, you're going to be explorative. Again, you may travel. You're just going to live a period of time where you're feeling free and feeling in charge of everything. And then this natural momentum brings you to the opportunity for new relationships. They also, if you're worried about finances, they also say that everything is going to balance itself out. Everything, it's like I feel like there's an equal split. If there's going to be severance, there's going to be an equal split of assets as well. And perhaps even equal split of timing when it comes to children, if there are also custody fears as well in the future. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 1, please. Page of Swords now, sort of coming in a state of limbo, a little bit in the reversal here. World reverse. So you're not quite perhaps finished with the process of moving out of the environment, or perhaps like completely emotionally or energetically severing. You could be in the midst of something powerful, something breaking down in this moment. You could even be going through some legal issues as well. You could be going through the legal system here, which could be also very emotionally and physically draining. There's like a power struggle that could be going on here as well. Spirit does feel like this might correct itself within the year. And it's only temporary. This too shall pass. We have the black shoe, the morning shoe, grounding yourself to a new perspective, but keep your eye focused on the sun with the Degas ruin. We have a tangled heart and music. I feel like you're really being emotionally pulled into nostalgia right now, maybe with music, with memories. That's part of the healing process. Don't be tempted to kind of eat the poison or drink the poison. We also have key with Mickey Mouse ears. So again, a nod to children if they are a factor in your life. And we have the lock, but you use the key. Pile number 1 is what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. Drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. Guys, I do offer a chance for a free reading for my subscribers, and all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, hit your notification bell, and drop a comment beneath any of my readings this month for your chance to win. I do notify you in the comments section if you are chosen the winner, so be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can give you clear directions on how to reach out to me safely, because I never send unsolicited DMs here or on Instagram or on TikTok or anywhere. So if anybody does send you one posing as the Tarot Cottage, just know it's not me and just ignore them. I would not want to see anybody get scammed. But I am so happy that you joined me today at the Tarot Cottage. I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the perfect key, and this is your reading. After the ending, what does Spirit need you to know? Now, the perfect key can speak to, because I think of 11 of Justice with 29, so they're talking about like maybe even commitment cycles and balance, and thinking that I'd found my person. Thinking perhaps that I'd found my person. But you can see that there's a bird here carrying multiple keys. And so maybe she should try a different key in that lock that holds her heart, because maybe you thought you found your person and yet the emotional satisfaction didn't follow. So there's confusion, and we start to blame ourselves and wonder if there's something wrong with us here. But this card is actually really encouraging because it talks about trying new keys. It talks about opening up your own heart. And even like they're speaking about integrating friends and family. So you could be getting a lot of support from people at this time as well. And they do encourage you to allow people to support you during this time. So let's take a look here and see. Pile number 2, please. After the ending, what does Spirit need you to know? We have the 2 of Swords. We have the Ace of Swords reversed. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the High Priestess. And we have the Chariot. Now, the Chariot in the future position is really highlighting perhaps having to dig in and see through to completion this ending. So perhaps you're kind of in the process of transitioning into endings and you want to know how that process is going to go. We do have the Seven of Cups here and the Four of Cups. And I just feel like there's like a certain amount of boredom that you've experienced here in your current realm or in a recent realm that has just ended. Like there's just such an amount of humdrum energy that I feel. And just emotional boredom and feeling ignored, truthfully. Like that's perhaps what created this, is that maybe in the beginning of that relationship, they were really, really attentive. They put in a lot of effort and that has just fallen completely away. And now you just feel overlooked. And that's like a truth that stings a little bit. And there's almost a sense of like karmic justice. Is like, if I'm going to be overlooked, then I'm going to look for options where I'm not feeling overlooked. So you may even been curious or been tempted to explore options outside of your connection, maybe even emotionally or energetically before the connection ended. They are highlighting secrecy a little bit for someone here too. And they do always hope that there will be ultimately honesty. We may not be ready to deal with that in this moment, but even just starting with honesty towards ourselves. And the first step in honesty was perhaps acknowledging that I thought this was the perfect person, but now maybe I'm not so sure. Because it's like we're afraid to complete the process. And there's an indecisiveness. But Spirit says that this indecisiveness could just be us holding on to the familiar. It could be a compromise, or feel like a compromise, or it's good enough. But Spirit says that if it was good enough, you wouldn't feel inspired for change. And this crossroads, like the truth of the matter is that it's like the call from your heart, the thirst that you're feeling. There's even like a certain amount of like stress associated with this moment too. But all of these inspirations came from your higher self because something has to shift and change for you. Now, they want to be very careful and cautious about the message about looking for the perfect key to complete me, because there's never going to be a person whose destiny or whose job is to complete you or to make you happy. That will be an inside job. So they do caution us from going from one connection straight into another emotional connection and expecting that fulfillment. They're not saying we can't do that, go from one connection to another, but the emotional fulfillment will still have to come from within. But they say that there could be stress because there's been dishonesty. Maybe we haven't expressed our boredom. Maybe we aren't honest about looking for options at this time. Here's the Two of Swords. Maybe we haven't been honest about our disappointment and our sadness. Maybe we've been ignoring it to ourselves. Yeah, because there's a blocked insight. But Spirit also wants you to understand that even if you feel like you've kept it to yourself, this isn't a secret. And it won't feel like even a secret being revealed to your partner if you haven't completely severed things at this moment as well, because they keep highlighting we need to dig in and see this through. And maybe you've severed it, but the stress is trying to call you back. Queen of Pentacles. Now, I will say here that there is a reference to your higher self encouraging independence at this time. Perhaps independence from your old realm, perhaps independence or an independent period. Because they keep showing me the poppy and they keep saying passing the torch. So there could be a reference to the secrecy and passing our attraction to someone else. Maybe exploring keys while we still have our key, our heart locked in that cage. And again, it may not be something that we're physically stepping out of our connection to do. It could all be energetic. We could be emotionally fantasizing about other paths. We could be like looking perhaps for options online, for instance, but what we haven't actually taken any steps outside of our situation. But there's the process that's already beginning. It's like we've already emotionally checked out And oftentimes they say that the divine feminine specifically will do that. She checks out emotionally way before she leaves physically. And they feel like that could be like the ending's already here, right? But we just haven't been honest about it yet. The ending for us emotionally is already here. And it's like we've recognized this is not the perfect person for us. And what could be waiting for you in the unknown, if you surrender to this, there could be like playfulness and renewals of romance. And they're talking here about spending a period of time getting to know other people and sort of reinventing that version of yourself, feeling it helps to build your confidence. They also see you being kind of renewed and maybe even working on your physical form. Here's the Four of Wands. Here is the Three of Wands and the King of Cups. And they want you to look to your future, because if you want somebody who's emotionally fulfilling and somebody who's emotionally abundant and who knows how to love, you want that King of Cups coming in the future. And that's what they want you to anticipate, is this future. And again, not anybody that's going to complete you, because you are whole. You're already full and whole and complete, but somebody who can complement you. Because a key wouldn't be needed unless there was a lock to put it into. So there's something that complements you that comes into the future. But there will be a bit of a period of waiting. They say that there will be a period perhaps of independence for you before you go into a new profound relationship as well. But they don't want you to be afraid of launching yourself and to continuing the process of your own arrival. They say, again, you may not be 100% ready to exercise that change right now, but they do feel like it's time to express to yourself and potentially to other people ultimately about your dissatisfaction. And maybe you haven't done anything about it in the past, but Spirit says it may be time. You can't go back to yesterday. Be in the present. It's like sometimes we will torture ourselves and stay along too long because we are comparing the past version of our partner and even the past version of ourselves to this current version. And we're not that person and they're not that person. We have here, it's time to wake up. It's your moment. It says here, follow your own good advice. Trust in yourself. You know what is best for you. And in this moment, you're not trusting in your highest self. You're blocking your own insight because there's a fear of changing foundations. But this is actually a brand new foundation phase for you. So let's ask Spirit what sort of lessons you are integrating or that you have integrated through this process, or maybe even currently what you are integrating. What lessons are they integrating in this moment, please? The Tower. Balance as well with the Page of Swords. Now, this sort of came out as a theme for Pile 1 as well, about the lessons that connections are supposed to help us to achieve. We build things with effort here, and then this epiphany comes down with the lightning strike, and then it breaks things down. So sometimes we look at it like, well, what was the point of building that if it was just going to crumble? But this is the physical build, right? The practical build is a byproduct. What we're actually building is that discernment and that lesson. We're gathering information, we're gathering experiences, and through all of that gathering, when we stitch it all together at the end of our lives, we're going to find that we created joy. Through the whole realm of human emotion, we created joy. You're also giving yourself, you're integrating this lesson of giving yourself the permission to alter course and to change directions. And I just heard a terminology of like, your work here is done. That's what I just heard. Your work here is done. You can go rest high. Here's the Ten of Cups. And you've accomplished perhaps what the purpose of this situation was for you and for your soul. They're actually saying that this momentum, I should say, this momentum, this moment of time is sort of preordained in your Akashic records as well. They're talking about a major cycle, maybe a 10-year cycle that is coming to a close for you. What are they going to experience, please? And what is ready to flow in now that they are releasing? Peace. And truthfully, that's collaborative too. peace for you, peace for your own inner child. We have 2 on the floor here. A new outlook, the Devil reverse, and detachment from something that's no longer healthy for you. Sorry for shaking you. There's a detachment from something that is no longer helpful or healthy for you. You're calling your energy back. You feel more empowered. You have a new outlook on life. You're more peaceful about your decisions. You're satisfied in life. Now, they're also highlighting people in your future coming in, but that's the byproduct. They're less concerned about the physical representations of growth than the internal growth that you're going to be experiencing, the internal script that's going to be happening. Because you feel like the possibilities open up. And I feel like you do explore options in the future towards love. They do see you settling down again, of course, with someone very loving. So you don't have to fear what the unknown holds. They're giving me a lot of Leo energy and a lot of Cancer energy at this time. And there's the Ace of Swords. There's the 3 of Cups. Reasons to celebrate. You're going to be meeting new people. You're going to be getting to know lots of new people. You're going to have lots of things to contrast with your past as well. And they're actually saying that you may actually meet someone that you're going to have a lot of fun with within this next 3 months. Now that time frame will be contingent upon you taking leaps of faith to perhaps, again, dig in and see something through to completion. Now, what may need to be seen through to completion could just be energetic release. Maybe the process or the ending has come physically. It says, find comfort in the night when the world switches off and the stars burn bright, and branch out to new worlds. So if there's also a period where you're not speaking to someone from your past and you kind of cut them off, or it can create still a lot of emotional upheaval. They're saying find comfort in the lack of distraction. Branch into new worlds. Embrace the dewdrops of life before they disappear with the morning sun. And this is just Spirit's way of saying there's no time like the present. We aren't promised tomorrow. So when we get an inspiration for change, indecision sometimes just ends up taking away the outcome that could have been really abundant for ourselves. And we deserve to feel good. We deserve to have an abundant life where we feel prioritized. So the first step in saying that is by prioritizing ourselves. In the bowl pile number 2, please, you have the 8 of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Justice. We have the High Priestess 3 times now for you. One's in the reverse, one's upright. She's upright as well. But they are talking here about your truth reigning supreme. That all of these swords are just swords of our own fears and our own restrictions and what could happen if we speak our truth. And Spirit says it's really time to kind of express the information that you've been sitting upon, the way that you've been feeling, and integrate that expression into action. They say this person wasn't the one for you. You are always going to be the love of your life, and other people will come in to join you in that love. We have P, W, O, X, E, and V. We also have here the Tree of Life, and there's a to-do list. Every time I see the clipboard, I think of a to-do list. So again, maybe we haven't completed the process yet. We also have an Infant Jesus of Prague, so there could be children invested here. Could be a Catholic reference as well. We have Cancer energy, and we have temptation. So something tempting us, the opportunity for more, even the perception of more things out there. But there's something that we have to do before we empower ourselves in that new realm. Pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Please drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me, because I do offer a chance to win a free reading. I forgot to mention that in my intro. For my subscribers, you just have to be subscribed and drop a comment beneath any of my readings this month for your chance to win. I will notify you underneath your comment if you are chosen. So be sure to hit the notification bell. I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below as well. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the Rose Garden, and this is your reading. After an ending, or after the ending, what does Spirit need you to know at this time? Now, this Rose Garden number 9 is speaking to a period perhaps of independence. There's a caterpillar here on her. There's a butterfly. So we're in this transitional phase, perhaps where there's thorns along the roses. She herself is wearing a rose dress. And this card reminds us that the rose is beautiful because of the thorns sometimes, not just in spite of them. And how in this process, like, you may have jumped out of an ending and now you feel insecure in where you're sitting. So there is a feeling about like expecting great things immediately or expecting great results. And I keep hearing that song, I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden. So there's this reference to planting a seed. Like as we jump out of one thing, we're not jumping straight into the full garden. We're perhaps jumping into the garden space and an empty plot where we get to start planting new seeds. And so you may just feel really torn in the center of this process, in between transformation, between this butterfly and the caterpillar. But they want you to be more lighthearted because they feel like things are coming to light for you soon. So let's take a look here at the tarot. After this ending, for pile number 3, please, what does Spirit need you to know at this time? It's falling down. We have the Page of Cups. Now, sort of coming in a state of limbo, we're going to put it in the upright for now. The Nine of Pentacles. We have Justice. We have the Ace of Swords. There's still some red tape. I just saw the Three of Swords all wrapped up. Here's the Ace of Cups. Here's the Page of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So we're going to clarify this as we go forward. If I can find the other deck. There we go. Can we clarify this, please? For pile number 3, a message from their guides. After the ending, what does Spirit need you to know about after this ending? Nine of Cups. I love this for you, pile 3. So they are already really prioritizing these nines. Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups. And the truth is that when we're dealing with the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups, if we're going to be dealing with the nines at all, that's what we want to be dealing with. We want to see those cards, Death on the back of deck already, because this is about you coasting into something new. And not everything has revealed itself to you yet. So if you're feeling sort of torn in the change or in the process of the in-between, then Spirit wants you to hold on. They know you're hungry for the success side story. It's like they want you to have this beautiful success story. But because you're in this process, they're still in the process of clearance for growth. You'll notice that these pentacles are covered or surrounded by the feathers, which makes me think of the Four of Swords. And the truth behind the Four of Swords is that you're in the process of releasing everything you've unpacked. You're in the decompression phase where you're now, taking everything out of the car that you don't need and gassing yourself up. So this period of independence is actually incredibly important. Incredibly important. Because they're clearing the space for you. And they want you to see the full spectrum, that you're maybe in separation and you're maybe feeling like, maybe you're feeling a financial pinch. And that is even integrating a challenge into your life. So there's this process of like wanting to hide from that or wanting to hide from the challenging part of the in-between. And the reason why you feel so imbalanced is because you're creating a new normal. They're showing me like a scene of a woman or a man carrying 2 buckets of water and trying to balance it on each side. And if they're running forward on the path trying to balance that water and they rush, they're going to spill it everywhere. Because what they're preparing you for is new emotional starts. But look at how there's scales around this cup. They have to break through first with a new emotional perspective. Spirit says that even if you feel a pinch of some kind, and it could be something very physical, again, financial pinch, emotional pinch, that this is the moment that nothing's off track. This moment in time, everything is exactly as it's supposed to. All the blessings are going to be coming in for you. And it's your job now here to let it happen. They're saying allow it to coast into your life. We have the World. Because your success is already assured to you. And I feel like that success, that momentum was because you pushed yourself into this position in the first place. You put yourself in the rose garden, which is empowerment. It's like you're just waiting. It's like there's this time delay where you're waiting for a check to clear. It's what it feels like. And it doesn't necessarily have to be financial. They're using it as a metaphor. But it's like you're waiting for the check to clear. And part of you is almost worried that it's going to bounce, you know, like here's the Knight of Cups. Spirit says it almost feels like you're reinventing yourself in this moment. You may also be, and this could be happening in this moment, this could be happening within the next month or two. You could be starting to talk to someone new, and this may not be something you want to pursue. It may be, you get to make that decision, but the purpose and the function of you talking to someone right now is to build your confidence, is to make you feel more aligned, is to almost distract you from some of that naysaying or looking to the rearview mirror. We have the Eight of Pentacles. They just also showed me an image of someone giving blood. So that could be something very specific, like donating blood or something, plasma. That could be very specific to somebody watching. Oh, because look, now we have the Ten of Swords coming out for you, reversed. I just saw the Knight of Swords. Here's the King of Wands and the Five of Swords. You may also be in current conflict, like arguments at this moment with your past partner, for instance. They could be a little bit nasty about it. They could be really good at trying to convince you that you're wrong or gaslighting you. And so Spirit wants you to kind of hold on to your perspective, because they may use your current state of mind, your current vulnerability against you in some of these arguments. And if they still have access to you, they could be using some of these arguments against you at this time. And they say that one of the biggest things that you're working through, one of the biggest soul lessons that you're working through in this moment and integrating, is about this forgiveness phase. Forgiving and recovery, moving on, forgiving them, forgiving yourself, moving forward. This is what's going to help break through the barrier, because right now there could be even a barrier around your heart, or there's a restriction around your heart where you're kind of self-protective, because you definitely don't want to go back to the past. But Spirit actually sees you meeting somebody within the 2025 year, perhaps as well, a new person coming in, which could be one of the blessings coming in after this integration. But one of the big soul lessons for you, even if you don't get the benefit of remorse or loss, because this person may not be capable of it. The old partner may not be capable. They have a chip on their shoulder because of fear. They don't know how to deal with their separation, so they're just acting like an ass, probably, to you at this moment. And we're not asking you to forgive them for their benefit. We're asking you to integrate that release into your own heart for you. We can create closure with someone without the benefit of their help, and that's what they're encouraging, because that's what's going to open up everything. And it's opening up everything because we're reaffirming the type of person we are, even when we're challenged with this. And they think that you have such a beautiful open heart, and that open heart is going to help you coast into a very satisfied position, because I feel like part of what you can anticipate is moving into a relationship and driving your ex-partner crazy a little bit, to be honest with you, because you're in this smug position where maybe someone's told you no one's going to want you. It's like no one's going to want you. There's conflict and like nasty energy coming from this Five of Swords, but you know what? They're wrong. You're coasting into something very satisfying. And it's like you are sitting in a smug position where you're like, you don't say I told you so because you're too kind-hearted, but Spirit is kind of nudging that forward. It's like, see, we told you so. They're also saying that you may have suffered from like love bombing in the past too, in this environment as well. We have mortality. Life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. A moment's regret. Nostalgia, idolizing the past and fearing you've made a mistake. But this is where it's just a moment. The lightning strike here at the Ace of Swords is asking you to work on that, because that's another aspect that you're mastering. You are learning to be brought to the precipice of change and the benchmark of opportunity for your own clarity, and you're being asked to integrate it. First, perhaps in the first step, walking away. The second step, perhaps to integrate your heart more, to reconnect with it, because maybe you shut that heart down for self-protection. There's a reason you put scales around it, because they feel like you were dealing with like a vulnerable yet selfish type of person, like their vulnerability would come out as selfishness. And it's like a hot potato. We don't want to carry that alone, so we throw it at our partner. But now this Ten of Swords says it is imperative for you to let yourself move forward. Because you're communicating to the universe your readiness for a fresh start. And in this readiness for a fresh start, ultimately, you're going to be moving into new relationships. We have becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger with a fresh perspective. And that's what they feel like is happening in the present moment, but they want to encourage you to keep that process going. What do you see flowing in now or after the release? What is flowing in the future because of the ending? Oops. Justice. There's a lot of like Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy. Spirit does see you meeting an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. They are highlighting divine masculine right now, but again, it's all about energy, has nothing to do with gender. And for someone watching, of course, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But for someone watching, this person that you're meeting within the next 12 months, I feel like even though you don't necessarily want to go from one relationship to another relationship, maybe, I think this person could be special to you. There could be something here. A lot of Libra energy with this person. This person's very honest and direct. They're smart. We have the Ace of Swords. Oh. We have the Page of Wands. I feel like you go into this opportunity with a little bit of trepidation because of the past influence. You can see it's like going up on stilts. It's like going cautiously across the ice. But that's what they're saying. This is a doorway that is opening up for you, and it's your free will to be able to walk through it. You may have to kind of complete the process of release to give yourself the permission or the strength to walk through it, but you are becoming braver. And then we have this King of Cups energy. You are becoming braver. And we have victory for you. And look at the Five of Swords. Ten of Cups is the back of the deck. This smug energy, you can see it. I keep hearing like nana, nana, nana. That's what I keep hearing. With the conflict that you're experiencing right now with an old person, all of a sudden you get to look back and be like, see what I made? See what I made out of this mess? Sometimes out of the Tower energy, see what I made? There's confidence waiting for you in the future. There's collaborations that make you feel confident. The Six of Wands can also speak to like marriages, for instance, if you choose that path, of course. But the Ten of Cups is about being in relationships where you feel profoundly understood and seen and cherished. There's also a beautiful family photo here for anyone who has goals towards commitment cycles, building a family or life with another person as well. So much to look forward to, and that's what your guides really want you to understand. Transformation can be painful sometimes. We fail to acknowledge what it had to go through to achieve the butterfly status, just like Maya Angelou says. Opportunities are going to unfurl without the benefit of warm sunlight. So you have doorways opening up for you in growth and love, Pal 3. You don't have to walk through them. Your free will be in charge of that. And they want you to show some patience to let everything unfold the way that it's supposed to. We have surprises coming in. So under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. So transform and emerge with beauty and grace from your cocoon. And I love that card for you because there's such a beautiful emphasis on the caterpillar here and the butterfly. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. We do have the Hierophant reversed. We have the Ace of Wands and the Four of Cups. Now, there's a feeling of like almost helplessness that comes in. When somebody perhaps feels helpless, they take creative approaches to try to pass that helplessness along. And I do feel like it could be coming from this King of Wands energy. So there could be conflict that they're trying to create for you. So you may not be creating some of these thorns on your own, for instance. So Spirit says they want you to perhaps take a different approach or a new creative approach towards this person, and they want you to ignore them. It's like blocking them out or gray rocking them is what I'm hearing. Could be a nod if you feel like you have narcissistic tendencies with their energies towards you as well, or they have narcissistic tendencies towards you rather. We have you. We have Capricorn. All we can do is work upon our own addictions and attachments and dependencies. We have Made with Love. We have the Star. So maybe you're hoping for children or children are a factor. We have NCU. We have the Hatchet and Crystal Clear Intentions. They're encouraging you, if you are communicating with someone from your past, that you are just very crystal clear with your discernment, that you do not allow them to rattle you with the conflict that they try to bring forward. We can't control them, but we can control our own reactions. Pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. Please drop your comment for your chance to win a free reading, of course, beneath any of my readings, and be sure to hit your notification bell. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personalized reading, and that link is always updated daily. But I hope you come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day.